Today I'm doing long exposure photography. So I've just taken a few pictures at normal shutter speeds, 60th, 90th of a second, that kind of thing, to kind of freeze the waves a little bit. And now I put the 10-stop ND filter on, which slows the exposure right down. So now I'm getting 1.5 seconds because it's still fairly bright. So obviously if the sun had gone down, you'd get much longer exposures, like 20, 30 seconds, that kind of thing. But I like the fact that there's quite a bit of movement in the water because that tends to make for better long exposure photography. So briefly, long exposure photography is, what people generally mean by that is that you're taking pictures of water and smoothing it out. I mean, that's generally what people are talking about with long exposures. I'll show you the comparison between the faster shutter speeds and the slower shutter speeds. It's quite interesting. It's a nice effect. Just switched to my 100 to 400mm lens now, so I can't really zoom in much, so I'm at 100mm, but this tends to obviously exaggerate the effects more, so I'm going to show you that now. So I'll take a few shots with long exposures. So at the moment I'm getting 1 second exposure. To get this effect, you really need a bit of movement in the water, so the waves are quite good tonight. I think if you came here on a day where it's very calm, the most you can do is just smooth out the water a bit. But the reason I chose this location is because I want rocks in the foreground, because as soon as you get the waves crashing on rocks, it kind of emphasises the long exposure effect, which is what I want to make this video about. Gonna go mad now. I've got a 10-stop filter on there. I'm going to put a 4-stop filter on top of that, so I'm going to be a 14-stop neutral density. Right, well that's a bit more extreme. I'm getting 15 seconds now, so the water's going to be completely smoothed out. This is a lot of fun. Oh, that's a beautiful wave. If you want to try long exposure photography, you don't need to get ND filters just yet, although they will help you. You can just try it at dawn or dusk when the sun's not in the sky, and you'll need long exposures then anyway. So you could go to the local sea, or you could go to a lake if it's fairly ripply and get some pictures of, I don't know, you get rocks by the edge of lakes, don't you? So you can try it like that, and it's a good way to start. So around dawn and dusk, if you just want to give it a try. A bit busy down here tonight, there's not much beach and everyone's come to watch the exciting waves. So I'm just waiting for the sun to go down a bit more so that the light changes, because I've done quite a few shots already. And I've just noticed some really nice wispy clouds, so I'm just going to do a time lapse of those, which will take me about 5 to 10 minutes. seriously wonderful conditions down here at Porth Nanven, known by the locals as Nanwen. The waves are almost a bit scary because I'm quite close to them, but I think I'm all right because I know the tide's going out. So I've taken a shot at 250th of a second just to show you one at kind of a normal shutter speed for a day like this, which has got fairly bright midday sun. And then I've done some long exposures with a 10 stop neutral density filter plus a polarizer on full. So that's a total of about 12 stops, I think, something like that. So I'm getting exposures now of about 8 seconds. And unfortunately, because there's so much white water, the foreground is just white, so it's not my ideal kind of shot, but at least it kind of shows you what can be done and what conditions to be looking for when you want to try long exposure photography. Lazy photography. I've only walked a few miles today, but I've been on my feet for about 5 or 6 hours, almost non-stop, so I just walked all the way here to this beautiful view. Just decided to take it easy, sit down. Taking a shot with the 10 stop ND filter on. The sun's just setting, about 20 minutes, something like that. And yeah, I'm just trying to smooth out the water. So I've taken one shot at 15 seconds and one shot at 30 seconds. And the 30-second one definitely has that more kind of long exposure look. So if you're after that, you want to try and achieve 30 seconds if you can. Right, there's a technique for this because this camera works really well. So if I put a 10 stop ND filter on, which is really dark, I can still see through it and focus and everything, no problem at all. But in case your camera can't do that, there's a really good method for working out the exposure. So before you put your 10 stop ND filter on, focus, then turn off the focusing. And then don't touch the lens, obviously, because you don't want to change the focusing. Scrub that, because you're going to have to put the filter on, aren't you, after which might affect the focusing. But anyway, the method is, right, get a 30th of a second without the filter on, no matter what the aperture is. Get a 30th of a second, and then when you put the 10 stop filter on, you'll get 30 seconds. So yeah, I'm not sure how you would focus. You just have to put the filter on very carefully, I guess, and not touch the focusing at all. And then you'll be sure to get a sharp shot. I've come down nearer to the beach now, and I'm facing right into the sun, which is setting. So obviously my exposure has gone right up now from 15 and 30 seconds back there. It's now 10 seconds, but I'm just going to try something because I've got these foreground grasses. They're blowing around a little bit, so obviously they're going to be going a bit blurred during the 10-second exposure, but it's worth trying these things. So 10 seconds at f16, ISO 100. And we'll see what we've got. A delightful 10 seconds. Oh, that was quick. Actually, that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to put my tripod down even lower and see if I can shoot through these grasses because they're obviously a good foreground. So let's get my tripod down. I'm talking in Scottish accent because just been talking to Hudson, who's one of the people who's been watching my videos. Thank you, Hudson. Yeah, that's better. The grasses are now more dominant in the frame. Yeah, that's definitely better. I'll show you that on my video so you can see what I'm doing. Video, what sort of quality is that going to be like it with a 10-stop filter on? I've got no idea. ISO 2500. Oh yeah. I think it's absolutely flipping brilliant. Why haven't I been doing this before? I did actually take a nice shot with a 10-stop filter of a sun setting, and it does give the golden glint on the water a really nice look. It really accentuates that golden stripe coming from the sun towards me. I'll show you that shot from Land's End because it's a good one, and it's a lot better than the one I did without the ND filter. But this is great. I'm going to do a few more just to make sure I've got a really good one in the bag, because that was, what was that, 20 seconds? Yeah, at f16. I'll do a shorter one as well. The sun's setting, so it's obviously getting darker now. It's worth trying long exposures on people too, because you can get some pretty nice effects, especially if they move around and go blurry. Here's a before and after. So this is no filter at Woolacombe in Devon, and this is with a 10-stop ND filter. Quite a dramatic difference. To blur the clouds you really need much longer exposures of several minutes, so it's best to do these before the sun rises or after the sun has set. And don't forget to convert your images to black and white as well, because quite often long exposures look better in black and white. Hey, thanks for watching, and please leave a comment. Bye for now.